Namaste. Welcome to the second video on Samkhya by Dr. H.S. Sinha. Samkhya is a dualistic school of Indian philosophy which assumes the existence of Prakriti and Purusha. When Prakriti comes in contact with Purusha, the balance of the three gunas present in Prakriti, namely Sato Guna, Rajo Guna and Tamo Guna, is disturbed, and Prakriti becomes manifest, leading to the evolution of 24 tattvas. They are Buddhi, that is Mahat, Ahankara, that is ego, mind, that is Manas, and the 5 sensory capabilities, Jnanendriyas, 5 action capabilities, which are called Karmendriyas, and 5 Tanmatras or subtle elements, and 5 Panchabhutas. This is wonderfully explained by Guruji in the second video on Samkhya philosophy. Let us hear from Guruji himself. Guruji begins his talk by stating that the depth to which Indian philosophy has delved in the past has not been achieved by any other country in the world. Samkhya is one of the ancient philosophies of India. Even the so-called profound Greek philosophy of Europe is no match to the Indian philosophy. Guruji says we have already discussed a little about the Samkhya philosophy, but today we'll discuss about this philosophy in greater detail since it has also been mentioned in our epics like Ramayana and Mahabharata and various other religious texts. Hence, it is obvious that Samkhya philosophy is one of the oldest philosophies. It is also mentioned in Gita that the wise do not differentiate between Samkhya and Yoga. It is believed that Samkhya is the theoretical aspect and Yoga is the practical aspect of the same philosophy. Hence, Guruji says that they cannot be viewed separately. The founder or the originator of this philosophy, according to mythology, is sage Kapila, who is believed to be one of the 24 incarnations of God. Hence, this philosophy assumes significance since God has revealed it to mankind through an incarnation as Kapila. This philosophy is quite similar to the scientific methods adopted today. Samkhya does not believe in the creation of man by God as described in Christianity or Hindu Puranas. Samkhya believes in evolution. It says that nothing is created in the universe. Everything that is already present in the unmanifest form gets manifested over a period of time or at a specific location. It is said that the probability or potentiality of an event happening becomes a manifestation when it actually materializes. The concept of evolution is as ancient as Greek writings, where philosophers speculated that all living things are related to one another, although remotely. The Greek philosopher Aristotle perceived a ladder of life where simple organisms gradually change to more elaborate forms. But it is perceived to be a creation which in actuality is not. The seed has the potential to become a plant or a tree. When the seed receives certain ecosystem, it germinates and grows into a sapling. This cannot be called creation of a plant or tree. It's nothing but evolution of the seed into a tree. Nowadays, people subscribe to the belief that evolution has happened before and is continually happening. Samkhya philosophy has affirmed this long ago. The text of Samkhya is known as Kapila Sutra, which is no longer available since its origin is believed to be many centuries before Christ. But the reference to Samkhya is seen in many texts at various periods along the timeline. But this book was not traceable. A great philosopher known as Ishwar Krishna tried to get various accounts or sources of Samkhya philosophy and has compiled the sutras. Hence, the only commentary available is that of Ishwar Krishna. Man has always wondered about the things or beings around him in nature and their creation. It has been a debatable subject whether things were created or have been in this state at all times, or have they evolved? Samkhya believes that there is neither a creator nor creation in this universe. Karya Karana, or The causality in nature has always been a part of all Indian belief systems. However, the application of cause and effect found in the physical world was applied to human life as well by none other than Buddha. He said that every action of man bears an effect on his life. The same causality forms the foundation of Samkhya and is called Satkaryavada. It is the argument that an effect pre-exists in the material cause in a latent form and hence is not different from the cause. And this is shown in the example of the seed. The scientists of the physical world believe that only nothing can come out of nothing. Something will always come out of something. As per science, matter has always been there because something cannot come out of nothing, meaning matter could not have come out of nothing. Samkhya has also adopted this view. It says that Sat cannot come out of Asat. Whatever we witness in nature could not have come out of nothing. Something was there out of which something has emerged. This is one of the logical arguments of Samkhya. The Samkhya school of thought has tried to explore what that something is out of which the universe has evolved. Samkhya disputes the theory of Nyaya philosophy that universe is created by a creator since two things are required for creation, that is a creator and matter for creation. To make this idea clear, Guruji gives an example of potter and pots. In order to make pots, two things are required, namely the potter, nimitta karana, and the clay, the potter's wheel, water, etc., which are called upadana karana. Hence, even if there is a creator, the things which is the material cause required for creation must also be present in universe, which needs to be explored. In creation too, the inherent nature of the creation offers a clue about the cause for creation. Based on this idea, the things in universe were divided into three types based on the nature of the creation. They are Satguna, Rajoguna and Tamoguna. It is observed that some of the creations give happiness and comfort while some are causes of misery. Few are neutral. For example, sleep. Samkhya, which believes in evolution, also proposes that the potential or the cause should be strong enough to manifest itself, without which things cannot manifest in any form. Samkhya also believes that only specific cause can produce specific result. Even God or Creator himself cannot change this. For instance, oil can be produced out of the same seeds or groundnut seeds and not from sand, because the nature of sand does not permit this. Even God cannot make sand produce oil, just as he cannot create a triangular square. Certain things are impossible in the world. Samkhya has termed the source of all matter as Prakriti, which is not the nature as we see around us. It is that state of matter which was present before evolution and from which all the things or beings have evolved. This Prakriti was formless and had the potential for the evolution of all that has evolved. It had the tendency to produce things which cause happiness, like Satguna, and activity, which is arising out of Rajoguna, and lethargy and sadness, which arise out of Tamoguna. Thus, Prakriti was a synergy of all the three gunas in equal potential and it was balanced. Satguna is represented by white color, Rajoguna by red color and Tamoguna by black color. Guruji quotes a Hindi poet who has rightly described the three gunas like this: Ami halahala madbhare set syama ratanar, jiyata marata jhuki jhuki parata jihi chitavata ikabar. Prakriti, the primal matter, has no beginning or end and is presumed to be the ultimate or the first cause of universe, and all else forms the effect. Prakriti is also called Aja, meaning that which has no birth. In India, Prakriti is called Mahashakti and Jagat Janani because it has the potential to produce everything that can be. Everything is hidden in the womb of nature, Sarva Garbhaya, and gets manifested according to time. Samkhya has always believed that matter and motion are different, which was substantiated by Newton's first law of motion. Matter continues to be at rest or in uniform motion until and unless acted upon by an external force. Newton also had to admit that an equal and opposite external force is needed to move any matter. For centuries, it was being contemplated as to who moved matter first in the universe for evolution to happen. It was said God moved the universe and got exhausted. Later, Austrian scientist of 20th century, Schrödinger's quantum theory, negated the bifurcation of matter and motion and proposed that motion is inherent in matter. He said that activity is already present inside the atom with electrons and neutrons and has always been a part of matter. The Rajoguna of Samkhya corroborates the activity inside matter. Just as the Upadana Karana of an earthen pot is clay, Prakriti is the causal matter of universe. Everything or being in the universe is born and perishes after lapse of time, and hence has limitation of time. Everything or being has a source of origin through which it comes into existence. All limited forms are believed to have been born out of limitless causal force. They get manifested for a specific period of time and then get back into the womb of Prakriti in the same form or in a different form. Just like a rotating fan which rotates without knowing the purpose, Prakriti is also assumed to be engaged in this relentless cycle of production and extinction without a purpose. Every limited thing is born out of an unlimited cause. Prakriti is inert and limitless, or a seam, but all the things which have evolved from Prakriti are undoubtedly composed of the three gunas. There is nothing in Prakriti which is not made of the three gunas. But who is the entity who mixes these gunas? Prakriti, being made of matter alone, cannot evolve by itself and cannot produce anything by itself. It requires an external force. This imaginary force, which is above the three gunas, is called Purusha, the pure consciousness in Samkhya. All the activities are part of Prakriti, and Purusha is only witnessing the activities by throwing light or focus on them. Purusha is said to be Nirguna, or not having the three gunas, and hence is inactive. Prakriti is the same Trigunatmak everywhere, including moon or other planets, and consists of three gunas which are governed by certain physical laws, while Purusha is different. For instance, water is made of hydrogen and oxygen even on moon or anywhere else. But the experiences of Purusha are different at different places. Purusha is formless, omniscient and self-radiant. Both Prakriti and Purusha are beyond time and space, Anadi or Ananta. Few other schools of thought call this force as Atma or Chetana. Guruji says that every force has a conscious intentionality of purpose. Purusha has the intention of witnessing and experiencing. Prakriti performs while Purusha witnesses is the metaphorical representation. Their intentions are totally different. Rajoguna, being dominant in Prakriti, will never allow Prakriti to be inactive, while Purusha, not having Rajoguna, can never be active. Purusha can only throw light on the activities of Prakriti. Hence, they are like the observed and the observer. Just as two entities cannot have the same experience, two forms of Purusha can also not have the same experience. While Purusha has multitude in terms of numbers, that is in quantity, Prakriti has multitude of forms, which is quality. इश्क धोखे नजारा मुफ्त में बदनाम है, हुस्न खुद बेताब है जलवा दिखाने के लिए. Guruji recites this poetic comparison of Prakriti and Purusha. It is compared to the performance of a dancer on the stage on whom spotlight is focused so that the dance is witnessed and appreciated by the spectators. The three dormant gunas become active when Purusha throws light on them. Each guna tries to manifest itself when the focus of Purusha falls on it. Evolution happens due to this activity. All those which were unmanifest start manifesting themselves. Guruji has further explained the process of manifestation according to Samkhya, that is, from potentiality to actuality. There are 25 principles in Samkhya which are divided into 4 parts. The first one is Prakriti before creation, which had the potentiality for evolution. It was pure matter without form which had all the potentiality. When changes started happening in Prakriti, it was a phase called Vikriti. Vikriti means Vikara. Vikriti is the effect of superimposition and mixing of the 3 gunas. Vikriti is said to be of 16 types. 5 sense organs, that is Jnanendriya, 5 activity organs, Karmendriya, 5 elements, Panchabhuta, and the mind. There are few things which are both Prakriti and Vikriti, like Tanmatra, Mahattattva, Ahankar, while few others belong neither to Prakriti nor to Vikriti. Vishnu is supposed to be the Mahattattva, or the cosmic intelligence. As long as there is no witness to something, its existence cannot be proved. Guruji gives the example of ghosts. He says the existence of ghosts can only be proved if someone sees it. For someone who has not seen it, ghost doesn't exist. Hence, the cosmic intelligence is that light or the focus which proves the existence of the matter in Prakriti. Until the consciousness penetrates and lights up something, Prakriti cannot manifest it. The cosmic intelligence is universal, and that which is universal is beyond human perception and cannot be understood until it is reduced to specifics. This can be compared to the macrocosm and the microcosm. For example, one can paint a specific bird like crow or parrot, but cannot paint a universal bird. There can only be reference to particular bird or vegetable. Hence, the specific form of the universal intelligence was called Ahankara or the ego for the purpose of study, which breaks the universal intelligence into multiple differentiated intelligences. Purusha keeps throwing light on everything, and the activity of evolution continues. Differentiation starts with the differentiated intelligences. The mind comes into existence to link Prakriti and Purusha. Without the mind, nothing in Prakriti makes sense. The mind which comes into existence starts exploring Prakriti. But it needs channels to feel and explore Prakriti, which gives birth to the 5 sense organs. The 5 sense organs carry experiences of Prakriti to the mind for processing. The 5 sense organs are eyes, ears, tongue, skin, and nose, through which Prakriti is experienced. Mind is that which transfers information to Ahankara. The 5 Karmendriya of Ahankara process the information and the experiences and inform Buddhi on how to use them. The 5 Karmendriyas are Hasta, that is hands, Pada, legs, Vak, speech, Guda, organ of excretion, Upasta, organ of reproduction. Both the Jnanendriyas and Karmendriyas connect Ahankara with Prakriti. Guruji has beautifully explained the intentionality of the Jnanendriyas and Karmendriyas. Here it is pertinent to mention that at the physical level, the 5 sense organs are the same when a person is living or dead. There is no Vikriti or change in their physical form. The difference is that the sense organs which have come into existence for a specific purpose do not function anymore when the person is dead, because the intentionality, the intention to see, touch, taste, etc. is missing. All these Jnanendriyas and Karmendriyas have intentionality of consciousness. That's why eyes cannot hear and ears cannot see. Each organ can do only the intended function. This intentionality is called tanmatra. Samkhya has identified 5 tanmatras: the inherent capacity to see, taste, sound, touch, and smell. Thus, while the tanmatras appeared at the microcosm, at the universal level, the tanmatras appeared as the 5 elements or the panchabhutas. The 5 elements are fire, air, water, earth, and sky, which get covered with tamoguna or darkness. The light of consciousness, that is Purusha, is unable to penetrate through this darkness of tamoguna. Thus, evolution stopped here. Till consciousness or the Purusha focuses on Prakriti, there is no manifestation of the pre-existing cause. The cause and effect are governed by the laws of nature, which cannot be changed by anyone, including God. A triangle can never become a square, and a square cannot become a circle. Purusha, the consciousness, only helps Buddhi in discovering the presence of oil in sesame seeds only and not in sand. When Purusha comes under the influence of the 3 gunas of Prakriti, he loses his identity and gets into ignorance. If Purusha identifies himself with Prakriti, any change in Prakriti will be perceived as a change within Purusha himself, which is illustrated by Guruji through the example of a reflecting mirror, which identifies itself with the faces that it reflects and not apart from it. A person using a table cannot think that the table is a part of himself. He should be aware that the table has come from Prakriti and one day it will go back to Prakriti. The observed and the observer need to remain separate for observation to happen. Samkhya also states that Prakriti and Purusha never become one entity. Guruji describes the miseries of Purusha when he identifies himself with Prakriti, which can be of 3 types. Adi Bhautika Dukkha, which arises out of Tamoguna. Adi Daivika Dukkha, which arises out of Rajoguna. And Adhyatmik Dukkha, which arises out of Satguna. Guruji further explains each of them. What is Adi Bhautika Dukkha? When there is a physical pain, man identifies himself with the physical body and cries in pain. The physical body has come from Prakriti and cannot be a part of Purusha, the consciousness. Similarly, man experiences many feelings like jealousy, hatred, fear, etc. due to this mistaken identity. This can also be compared to Eid anxiety of Freud. Guruji has explained Adi Daivika Dukkha like this. When there is excess or scanty rainfall, epidemics like COVID leading to huge losses, and there is misery due to activities of the Rajoguna in Prakriti. The cause is often attributed to the anger of some deity, and appeasing the deity is believed to remove the effect. Guruji has compared this to ego anxiety of man, which has more to do with the effects of society. Adhyatmika Dukkha is similar to the moral anxiety proposed by Freud, in which concerns of moral degradation in the society affect the individual since it affects the superego. This is the anxiety or misery which arises when one reads about rapes in newspapers and feels sad for the moral degradation in the society. These anxieties or miseries are universal and are compared to 3 types of fire engulfing the entire forest. Purusha is said to be inactive and hence cannot move, while Prakriti is very active but cannot see without the light of Purusha. Hence, one needs both Purusha and Prakriti to escape from the fires of misery in the world of forest. Prakriti provides Purusha with everything like materials, spouse, children, etc., all of which will return to Prakriti at some point of time. Purusha realizes his true identity only when he understands that he got involved with Prakriti so much so that he forgot that he was only pure consciousness and devoid of the 3 gunas. He has to get out of the bondages of Prakriti to realize that he is pure light. That is the state of liberation or moksha according to Samkhya. Guruji further explains about realization in Samkhya. realization or liberation. Only when Purusha realizes that he is distinct and separate from Prakriti, he can be a witness to the performance of Prakriti. He realizes that everything originates from Prakriti and returns to Prakriti and does not get affected by any loss. The ultimate realization comes when he rises above the bondages of Prakriti and is able to shine and throw light without effort. Thus, Samkhya has explained the universe and evolution using 25 tattvas. Nasato vidyate bhavo, na bhavo vidyate sataha. That which is not existing cannot manifest itself. Everything already present and those which will come into existence in future is already present in Prakriti as potential. It has introduced the idea of the Mahat-tattva, nature of Prakriti, relationship between Prakriti and Purusha, and how to rise above the effects of Prakriti to become the cosmic intelligence itself. Guruji further talks about the contribution of Samkhya philosophy to the world. Samkhya has helped in developing scientific approach to philosophy. It gave the principle that matter can neither be created nor destroyed, which science has come out with much later. Motion is inherent in matter. Prakriti has activity within itself in the form of Rajoguna, which leads to evolution. Samkhya has given evolution theory to the world much before Darwin. It was Darwin who gave a new perspective to the world. Till then, Christianity believed that God created the world out of nothing. But later it was taught that ex nihilo nihil fit, meaning nothing can come out of nothing, and something cannot come out of nothing. In this context, the contribution of Samkhya philosophy is highly significant since it came out with 25 principles and explained the functions of our karmendriyas, jnanendriyas and the inherent powers of each type of organ. It was also explained how Prakriti influences each aspect of life and staying tuned to Prakriti keeps all the indriyas intact. Samkhya also gave a detailed description of jnanendriya and the intentionality of each organ, and karmendriya, mind, ego and intellect. Samkhya defined ahankara as a combination of tanmatra, mahattat and mind as the internal apparatus to achieve jnana. It can explain the new innovations and discoveries which can be attributed to the potentiality within the cause. Samkhya believes that there are three independent sources of knowledge to understand the universe. Pratyaksha pramana, factual knowledge based on observation and verification, specific and universality nature of things. For instance, only a person who knows what a cow is, or the quality called cowness, or the universal nature of cow can identify or differentiate a cow from a horse. The second one is anumana, inference based on prior knowledge. The example given by Guruji is guessing the presence of fire looking at the smoke, arriving at the truth through a link or hetu. Third one is Shabda Pramana, verbal testimony of a trusted and reliable source of information. One can know about Africa or South Pole from a person who has already visited the place. There are other sources of knowledge, but they are not accepted by Samkhya philosophy. Guruji clarifies that Samkhya has no mention of God or creation. It proposes the path of knowledge for rising above the effects of Prakriti. It is the knowledge that the Purusha is the knower or the Gyata and the world is the known. Samkhya ends where yoga begins. Hence, they should not be viewed as different philosophies. So, we can observe that Samkhya is basically an understanding of the universe. It explains the process of creation through Prakriti and Purusha, which is nothing but matter and energy. It also describes the fundamental gunas which are present in Prakriti. Just as Guruji mentioned, Samkhya philosophy has laid a strong foundation for the scientific approach. The idea of the observer and the observed of Samkhya has also been used in the double slit experiment, and particles have been found to behave differently under an observing or measuring device. So, this brings us to the end of the video on Samkhya. Now, we will move on to the next step, that is the practical aspect of Samkhya, which is yoga philosophy, in the next video. Thank you.